Hi, my name is Sydney Carrion, and for my foldable, I would like to do it for a class in biology or actually an ecology class that I would be teaching. And for the TICs that I would be teaching, one of them is talking about invasive species and how they affect our ecosystem and how they think they affect the local flora and fauna. And this is the foldable that I like to do. And it's one where you just get a couple pages and you layer them and then fold them over in order to create multiple sections. And for this foldable, what I want to do is have the students put the species, the invasive species that they have an article on, up here on the top. And what I could do is I could provide them with multiple articles of different invasive species for them to choose from if they don't already have one in mind. And so they would put first the name of the invasive species up on top. Then we would go, where are they from? How did they get here? How do they affect the local flora and fauna? How do they harm them? How do they harm the economy? And how they can help. And under each of these sections, the kids would have to read through the articles that I would provide. I found multiple ones, but this is the article for the spotted lanternfly, the thing that I did my foldable on. And so for where it came from, they would obviously say where the species is native to, and they could draw pictures, they can write it in colored things, whatever they want to do in order to make it more customizable. For how did they get here, again, just saying how they came to be in this place that is not necessarily their native land, how these invasive species got here. Again, with the pictures. The next one would be how do they harm the local flora and fauna? And again, each of these answers can be found in the articles, and each of these answers can be found in the articles, and even if they're not in the articles, they're easily researched, so the kids can do more research into the subject. Or even if they don't like the articles that I give them and they want to do it on a different type of species, a different invasive species, what they can do is they can research their own articles to use or something like that if the kids get really into it, or they want to do it, say, on a specific species I didn't give them an article for. This foldable makes it that way, so it can be highly customizable and the kids can do really whatever they want. I'm not asking them for specific questions on a specific species. I'm really asking them these broad questions that the students are going to have to sort through all this article information and really find out the answers to. But while they are broad questions, they're not hard questions. They're just something that's going to make these articles more relatable to the kids, because they're going to have to understand how these species affect our economy, how it affects the local insects, the local flora, all of that stuff, how they got here, and it's just going to make it more relatable to the kids. Now again, the last part that I had them put, that I would want them to put on, is how they can help. And this is just, I think, a great way to get the students into the subject, to really pull them in and show them, well, yes, a lot of times these things are out of their hands. They can do certain things to help with it, and it'll just make it more relatable to them, and I think it'll make it more interesting to them in general. Now, after they create all of this, they would just staple it at the top, and then they'd be able to turn it into me. And that's my foldable. And I think that I think it's a great simple thing to do that can be, highly customizable for all the kids. If they're advanced, or if they're more advanced, they can even go and research their own things on the internet to try and find out more different types of invasive species that I didn't necessarily tell them about. They can take this for homework and return it to me the next day, make it super fancy, make it super pretty. But all in all, I think all this information that's covered in here is just really going to help drive the nail in the coffin when it comes to getting the kids, interested in the subject, or at least relating themselves to this subject that's being taught. Thank you. I hope you liked it.